Hi there and welcome to the Criticalbench compound. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Coach Chris Wilson with the lovely, the amazing Ashley Castleberry, who joins us here on the at the compound often to talk about all things strength, muscle, mom, postpartum related, right? All kinds of stuff. Ashley is a former bodybuilder. She's a certified personal trainer. She's a newer mom who obviously is getting her amazing pre-baby body back. And so she's here today to have some fun. I wanted to do some myth busting because I feel like we read a lot of the comments that come in, and we have so much glute content on our channel. We have a glute program, which we'll talk about a little later, Unlock Your Glutes. But there's a lot of confusion still for most people, beginner level people who are trying to make an improvement or a difference on their rear end. And they end up doing a lot of leg exercises trying to stimulate the glutes.
Yes.
And they don't necessarily understand the difference, where the differences come in, how to manipulate an exercise to make it more glute versus leg. Mm-hmm. So Ashley understands this stuff like I do. We're on the same wavelength. So we want to kind of go exercise by exercise, like lunges and squats and deadlifts, and show you the differences and get some insight from Ashley how she would change an exercise to make it more glute friendly versus leg dominant.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people try to get fancy with movements. Do this for the glutes, do that for glutes. When you just said we're going to do lunges, squats, and deadlifts, I mean, that's as basic as it gets.
Correct.
And you can change those to hit different parts of the lower half of the body.
That's right.
I think it's really important in keeping it simple.
Right. Yeah. It really is. I mean, I will begin by saying, before we get into some of these lunge variations, that a typical lunge, a standard or traditional squat, and a standard or traditional deadlift are not primarily glute exercises. They're all they're lower body and they're leg dominant exercises. They're more quad, hamstring type exercises, with glutes being a factor more at the end range when you're extending the hip. But if you're on stable surface with your feet planted and you're doing just an up and down regular squat, the only time the glute is even getting really hit hard is right at the top, if you're like locking out and pushing the hips forward. So I'm getting the cart before the horse. Let's go with a static lunge, if you would. And let's talk about a static lunge. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. We'll also call it a split squat, where you're just staying in a regular, you're not moving. You're just bobbing up and down. So Ashley's dropping down, her knees are at 90-90. And she's pushing through. Now, primarily she's hitting her front leg, right? A majority of the work is front quad, right? So this area, the top area of her leg, the front of her thigh, is really what's doing a majority of the work here. Not to say that there isn't some glute activation, there is, but when you do this exercise, or when you have clients and stuff do this, I mean, your driving force here is a leg strengthening move, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, what can you do with that particular exercise, whether you have the dumbbells or you don't, to start manipulating it or playing with it to make it maybe less of a leg, more of a glute?
What I would typically do if somebody came to me and they're like, look, I really like lunges, I hate squats, I hate deadlifts, I really like lunges, how can I do a lunge to activate or unlock my glutes? Right. I mean, first thing I would probably do is just elevate their surface.
Right.
I would extend.
Which I can do.
There we go. All right.
We'll just elevate with something small.
Perfect. So I would elevate the surface so I can really lengthen that glute hamstring tie-in. Lengthen, for lack of a better word, lengthen it. So I put their foot up here, and when I do, I can make them drop all the way down. Now, all the way down like that, now I have this huge lengthening motion. And when I drive up, right away, you're gonna feel it immediately in the glute.
Especially if you're not doing just that static up and down. Now you're actually doing more of a reverse lunge to driving upward, correct?
From here, as soon as I dig my heel into that plate.
Right, and then come up.
It's glute, it's quad.
Right.
It's glute, it's quad. You know, because you're lengthening that muscle.
That's
as you
correct.
said, in a squat,
Right.
when you come down in a squat, it's hamstrings.
Right.
When you come up in a squat, it's quads.
That's right.
Right? So right here, that's hamstrings. That's all hamstrings.
Right.
We know this. Right? And when you come up, that's all quads.
Right.
Because again, we're not lengthening that muscle.
That's right.
So we have to think about insertion points.
That's right.
Where's the insertion point? How can we lengthen it further to really get that good squeeze?
That's right. Absolutely right. What else can we do? And I'm asking this kind of rhetorically. What else can we do with a lunge that makes the glutes more of a factor? Well, what if we do a side lunge? So, so show them like a side lunge.
I'm gonna do.
And there's lots of ways to do these. Yeah. Right. So now what she's doing, she's stepping out from midline. She's going way out to the side. Obviously her form is probably better than most people you're gonna see doing this exercise. And you see how she lines up really nice, sets over her leg, drops down, and then she has to really push back to center. So now she's getting all of this extra stabilization and work from the glute that's missing when you're in a static or stable environment. She's in a much different situation here, going out and then back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing. I would say even like elevation on a bench potentially.
Yeah.
For glutes would be right here, and we come down.
Like a curtsy step up.
A curtsy.
Yeah.
Because right here, you can do this on a Smith machine.
Yeah.
We're going back. Guess what we're doing now? We're lengthening that muscle.
Yeah.
Digging through the heel activates the glute.
Big
You're
time.
You're gonna go through the toe, you're probably gonna get more quad.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're here, you gotta really focus. Where is your pressure?
Right.
Is your pressure on the back side of the foot? Is
Right.
your pressure on the front side of the foot?
That's right. Yeah, big
If I'm
difference.
here and I push the front.
Yeah, quad. Now you're quad.
Quad.
Right.
So it's body mechanics. Like, where is your pressure? Where's your focus?
You can do that on a leg press machine, which we
Yes.
don't have here. But if you, and you've seen like Ben Pakulski, and he'll do stuff like that, where if you're pushing more through the toe, you're going to have more quad impact. If you raise your feet up higher and really just almost like lift your toes off the foot plate and let the weight come in, then you're going to feel all hammy glute.
Again, part of that is you're bringing, it's the difference of the foot. So if I'm putting here, it's like a squat.
Right.
Suddenly, if I'm on a leg press and I'm pulling all the way up here, what am I doing?
Right.
Automatically, I'm lengthening that muscle, and now you're almost isolating a glute while you're doing it.
That's right.
Because your initial movement has to be glute. It has to be the hip flexor. Has to drive through the hip range to even potentially move that weight.
You're shifting the focus, so the quad is no longer like the primary mover of the exercise. I love that. Let's take since we've talked about squats, let's just show like more of a traditional with weights, just like a squat with holding weight at your side. So you see Ashley, she's just standing, her feet are about shoulder width apart, just moving up and down. This is a quad dominant exercise. So this is where her glutes are really activating. So go down and come up into about like 10% left. Probably, okay, so from like here to the top, that's where her glutes are really a factor in this exercise.
They finish the movement.
They finish the movement. They're the finisher of the squat. However, let's put the dumbbells down. Pardon the forklift guy outside. I'm not gonna let him mess with this video, okay? I'm just putting that out there. Okay, so Jamari's probably like, oh, I can't believe it. My audio is all messed up. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a single leg partial squat.
Yep.
So this one now is a very small range of motion, okay? And you have to have some balance with this. It's just a partial squat, good. And that's actually even deeper than a lot of people will go. Or are capable of going. But what she's doing is she's still, if you notice her knee and what her right leg is doing, it looks almost the same in terms of the movement that you were doing prior with both legs. But now you're on one leg, no added weight, just body weight, and doing that exercise. Now for some people, they might feel more comfortable with their arms, like way out in front with that leg tracking way back. Some people might feel more comfortable with the more like pistol, so more pistol, right? And both are good. Both are good, But what you have now going on is a lot of extra stabilization.
Stabilization.
Right.
That's it.
And that's the role of the glute.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's why the glutes, again, the center of the body where all the magic happens is the hips and the glutes. If you're an athlete, if you're active, if you want to be able to move well and move freely, this is this is everything.
Yeah.
And if this is healthy and moving well, then you're probably pretty strong and feeling good and relatively right. Right. So all your explosive stuff comes right through the hips.
Yes.
So that's a really good showcasing again how to make a squat more of a glute exercise is take the weight out of it, just go body, or you can do this, right? You could do more plie. Yeah, grab the big boy. So now what she's done, she's more of a sumo or plie, sometimes they will call. And now notice her legs are way out wide. She's really she's able to drop down into it even more. Now your hips again might not be as open as that. And she's really driving through the heel. You can almost see her toes kind of elevate off the ground because she's really focused on pushing through her heels to stand up. And now you're right. So almost the whole exercise, you're feeling glute, or at least probably the second half of the upward motion. So yeah, you're still gonna get your legs because you're still using your legs, but definitely more of a glute friendly, or having more impact on the glutes. Let's go deadlift. Or do you have another? I was
gonna add something for squats too. Whenever I elevate heels, I can hit quads too, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about elevation of a lunge on the front, but when we're talking about range of motion, some people's, we know this, can't go this way. Or some people have longer femurs.
That's right.
Longer femur here. I probably need a thinner one than that.
You want a thinner one?
I can do it right here.
I think we have two different. Yeah, do that.
So I can do these right here. So I can get more range
yes.
of motion too for people. I would do these plate.
Yeah, I'll grab one. I don't care. I'm running off camera today. I really don't care. So what you could do too is you could do one of these. These are like the big bumpers, but if you didn't want even that much lift, you could have more like a 1/2 inch there, and then set them to a desired, width. If you want narrow, if you want wide, yeah, that's true. So now she's really just intensifying this for the front of her legs. Right. Super.
Same thing with deadlifts.
Yes.
As you said, moving into the deadlift.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Elevating the toes, right? So coming here, see, I'll use one dumbbell.
There you go. Big time.
Now it's glutes. That's a lot of glute, hamstring.
And actually, I was going to say, and you're intensifying the way that stretch feels now.
Yes.
Big time, right? Because now you're forcing that Achilles, that the lower leg is under a little bit more tension, a little bit more stretch, range of motion there. So you're really feeling the backside, the posterior part of the body. Now, so more of a traditional deadlift, again, it's a posterior exercise. So you're really working muscles from your upper mid back all the way down through your hamstrings. And the glutes are a lifter in here. They are one of the many muscles that's performing a task in this exercise, if you will. But I wouldn't tell someone, hey, do more deadlifts if you want a bigger, rounder butt. But I would say maybe do more single leg deadlifts if you want to have more impact on your glutes. So show them what that looks like. And again, once you take away your support system, once you eliminate a base of support, now she's just on her right leg. Her right glute, her hamstring, all the muscles on her right side, and you just did mini band stuff yesterday, so you're really you're feeling it. Way more effort involved there.
Yes.
Way more effort, and so there's many ways to do that. You could do no weight and just go, do reach towards your toe with both hands.
I sometimes do it with my clients. I will have them touch a cone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Coming here.
Just have an object for them to focus on.
Tap, and then drive back up.
Yep.
Because again, focusing on stabilizing.
That's right. You can use a single dumbbell in your hand,
Yes.
and so you're like contrabalanced.
Yep.
You know, so if you're standing right leg in this case, you've got the weight in her left hand, which actually makes you feel more balanced, believe it or not, than if she was all on one side.
You have to make sure you go heavy enough, because
Yes.
if your lever isn't heavy enough,
Yes.
you almost make it harder.
Yes.
Right? So you're not focused enough on maybe my muscle.
That's right.
You're so focused on like, this is really freaking light.
Yes.
I probably should have went 25.
I like doing these with kettlebells actually,
Yeah.
and with like a fairly heavy kettlebell where I have to really focus and keep the reps lower.
Yes.
And just do like 6 reps or 8 reps max.
Yeah.
With heavier weight. And then that whole one side is just, I mean, you can't wait to put that weight down because your butt, your hand, everything's burning up.
Yeah.
So that's a great one. So now that we've kind of, I think, myth busted a little bit with some of the traditional exercises and how to tweak them to make them more of a glute exercise, let's just go through and show them more like glute isolation stuff that's in Unlock Your Glutes. So let's start with a prone glute squeeze, which is really a muscle activation exercise. So this one, you're just laying on your belly with your chin on your forearms and your legs are straight. This is one that you would do at the start of a workout to really start to fire up your glutes. And exactly, that's all you're doing is you're squeezing your butt, squeezing your buns, and lifting your legs. And you can do this for like 3 to 5 second holds. It's a great isometric exercise that really just, it's getting your hamstrings, it's getting your glutes, you're gonna feel your lumbar spine. So she's engaged through here as well as her glutes and her legs. So that's a great stimulator right there. You can go right into, obviously, let's just show them like a fire hydrant, just because that's that's a great body weight one. You can do this one with mini bands. You can clutch a dumbbell inside your knee. I've seen a lot of people, will take those little 3-pounders or 5-pounders and just hold them. So that's a really great one for stimulating the glutes.
A clamshell.
Clamshells are fantastic. Show them that, and then go right into a frog pump too. So, this is even the better version of a clamshell. Some people, when they do clamshells, they don't activate with the bridge. Yeah, they just go like from the ground, which still has some benefit, especially if you have like a mini band.
Yep.
But show them that the first version that you did. Those are the ones that we do in the Unlock Your Glutes program. And you will literally, if you're doing an isometric one, you will shake. Your whole body will quiver trying to hold that position because there's so much. She's activating glute on the bottom and glute on top, okay? So she's getting dual activation. Then you would switch and do it both ways. And then we're gonna go frog pump. These are fantastic too. So notice her foot position though. So her feet are not flat to the ground. Her feet are actually in on each other. And what this is doing is it's that added forcing out, that pushing outward. As you elevate, you're also pushing out, okay? So again, the glutes roll is pretty diverse. It's a hip extender, it's a leg rotator, it's a leg abductor. You have 3 main muscles in the butt, and they have different jobs, different tasks, and they support each other. So those are all really, really good. And then of course you have your basic ones like just a standing abduction exercise like that.
You can go 45 degrees.
Yes.
To really activate that glute all the way down here. Mini band.
Right, anything with a mini band pretty much. So those are some of the more traditional glute isolation exercises, but I think that this video is very helpful to people who maybe don't realize sometimes that I'm not getting results and my butt's not changing, like I want it to. First of all, you got to give it some time. If you're a guy who doesn't have big biceps, your biceps aren't going to grow over, in 30 days. It's going to take time. But you got to know that you're doing the right stuff and that you're consistently working at it, doing the right stuff. And I promise you, if you do that for 90 days, 6 months, or a year, you will get some level of results.
Something will happen. You're going to build muscle fibers the more you challenge them.
That's right.
The more you push the muscle to the limit, the muscle has to accommodate a load.
That's right.
That's saying that you have the mind-muscle connection to focus on that muscle.
That's right.
So when you're doing these movements, if you're feeling it more in your quad, maybe elevate your foot, maybe try a variation to it. It's not that the lunge itself isn't you know, doing what it should. It's a lower body movement. It is doing what it should, but maybe the mind muscle isn't there. Maybe you have to change some variables so you can hit that muscle group a little bit better.
No, it's absolutely well said. And it's something to consider and to think about. And then of course the other things play into it, like how are you sleeping? How are you eating? How are you hydrating? You're not gonna get the round, strong butt that you want if you're not doing those other things too. You could exercise all day long. You know, people that exercise, but you know, they're frustrated, they can't lose weight. Well, probably because their eating stinks, or they're not eating enough protein, right? Or whatever it is. So you have to really analyze what you're doing on a consistent basis to be able to finally get the results that you're after. Now, we've been talking about glutes. Unlock Your Glutes is our program. Coach Brian made this program, and it's fantastic. We have probably 100 videos on our YouTube channel showcasing exercises and different parts of this program. There's 2 body weight routines, there's 2 gym routines. They're very comprehensive, and they go through a whole flow of movement, how to start the movement or the workout, how to stimulate and prime the muscles for work, and then ones that are really good isolation exercises, and how to sequence things together to get the results that you're after. So there's a book, there's a DVD, of course you can download, you get digital downloads for all the workouts if you're not an over 40 person like me who even knows what a DVD is. So check out Unlock Your Glutes in the pinned comment down below this video. I promise you, you will love that program. It's really, really great, and it's been helping thousands of people since we put it out there. Ashley, amazing. Thank you for your insight.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to listen to me talk about your butt? You know what I mean? They want to see somebody with a butt, not me. So I appreciate having her here and to get her take on how to change these exercises to make them more beneficial for your rear end. Hey, be sure to go to that pinned comment for glutes. Give Ashley a great big thumbs up. Tell her how much you like her. Leave us a question or comment below. And subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.